remember seeing her backstage with him, and there was still, like, I guess like the first couple of months, or the first part of the relationship, so they were very lovey-dovey, but
yeah,
but she was just like wanted to monopolize his time, and like he'd be talking and then she'd like bring him over and she was like all over him, and like I don't know exactly how to feel about that, because like I did like him but I respected that he was in the relationship, but it stuck out to me that she just wanted him to herself.
it seemed unusual to you.
Yeah, it didn't sit well with me. And then the night at the pen, well, I had dinner another time, but it was very brief. Io was there, kind of keeping an eye on what was going on.
You met Io?
I said, I mean, I didn't really talk to these people. They didn't seem like people I really wanted. He did bring up how messed up it was. And, I think one of the nights that was in question on his case is when we were at the penthouse for Thanksgiving dinner, and she claims that he hit her after everybody left on that night. And it's just like, what? Like, that didn't make any sense. We were all having a great time.
So anyway, so you're at the penthouse that night, and you're saying that, but you saying you had met Io previously, or was Io there that night?
No, Io was not there at the Thanksgiving dinner. It was me and Manson, and then there was Amber, Johnny, Amber's dad, and her mom, and then a few other people. I don't know who they were. I think Raquel, she was there. And I found it strange that none of his family was there. It was just her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the security guard team too. And then she was drinking quite a bit.
She says she doesn't like to get drunk. She testified to that in the UK court. So you must be mistaken on that.
Her dad was bragging about how many boxes of wine she orders and likes to drink. And yeah.
Oh, you hung out with Johnny and Manson, and Amber was there, and you think Raquel was there, and this at the penthouse the night that Amber then claimed that he attacked her later that night, right?
I don't know which night, because I'm not that familiar with the case.
Yeah,
it was one of them. And she was drinking, and Johnny seemed really sad to me that night. And I understand why. He was very somber. He was not his usual jovial, happy self. And I then later found out that it was because Betty Sue was in the hospital. So I remember him being sad, and then I thought it was odd that his wife was having the time of her life, drinking and not really paying attention to her man.
And is she a pretty obnoxious drunk, or kind of sort of a sloppy drunk?
Well, I've only been around her once when she was drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, she seemed like she was rather rowdy and out there. And at one point, I was very uncomfortable because she sat next to me, and David, her dad, sat next to me. And they were just like talking to me, like making me feel very uncomfortable, like in a very, I hate to say it, but like a very like almost coming on kind of way. I thought that was really weird.
But so you're sitting here, and I guess Johnny is somewhere else, or he's at the other end of the table or something.
He was trying to deal with whatever Betty Sue issue was, I think.
Oh, so he was like not there, on the phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was a loft, and there was upstairs. So he was upstairs.
So you're at some point in the night when he's not really around, you find yourself, I guess they kind of gravitated toward you or whatever, and so you're in between Amber and her dad, and they're interacting with you really intensely, and you're saying it's almost kind of had a weird sexual feeling to it.
I didn't like it. I really didn't like it.
Do you remember what they were saying, what you were talking about, or not really?
Not really, because I just like wanted to get away from that. So I kind of like.
So Johnny his mom was sick, and so he was kind of away at points during that night. And then you, like, when he would come back to the table or to the party, it was basically like Amber was kind of oblivious to the sad state that he's in. She's just like drinking and having a good time and trying to seduce you with her father. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't say that, but that's
Okay.
what it felt like. I don't. One time, like during the party, it was Johnny Manson and me, and we're just sitting there, and we're trying to like, liven up his spirits. Manson wanted me to make him laugh, so he's like, "Hey, Paula has a joke," and I turned to Johnny, and I'm like, I'm really, really scared that Steven Tyler is going to get in trouble if he goes into the wrong neighborhood, because have you seen his toes? Or his toes are like gang signs. I think too, like she's, like I guess the feminists are, like, don't, be subservient to your man type situation. So I get up to get some food, and I serve Manson's plate, and she had a problem with that. And she's like, "You don't have to do that." And I'm like, "Well, I want to." He's like, "He can get his own food." And I'm like, "No, I think I'll handle that." And I went ahead and I fixed his plate and I gave it to him.
So you're in this social situation, and she is like, and you're basically just here like, like being nice, like getting him some food. And she's like calling it out, like it's like this, like basically like trying to give you this feminist speech about how you shouldn't be having to do that.
At least that's how it came across to me. And I'm like, it's just, he's my friend. Like, I want to serve him his food. I know what he likes. He trusts me to do it. So I'm going to do it. It's just,
Right.
being like a good host, I guess, in a way. Stuck out to me was that, she spoke at length about cooking the dinner. And I'm like, oh, it was really delicious. It was very, very good dinner. But then his security guard comes and he's like, "Well, how did you enjoy it?" I'm like, "Oh, it was really delicious. And I can't believe Amber cooked it." He's like, "No, I did." And I'm like,